You may have been carrying a weight for years, a weight you thought was tied to the actions of others. But what if I told you that the person who may have hurt you the most isn't someone outside of you? What if the real source of pain is an image, an unconscious echo of your mother, a figure whose shadow continues to affect your life? And what if healing isn't about changing her, but changing your relationship with this inner image of her? In this video, we're going to confront a hard truth: the emotional influence of the mother archetype on your development, your sense of self, and how it affects your ability to live freely. Inspired by the work of Jung, we'll explore the mother complex and why it might be holding you back from true emotional freedom. This isn't an easy journey. It's uncomfortable, it's raw, and it's necessary. Until we face this part of ourselves, healing will always seem just out of reach. But stick with me, and I promise by the end of this video you'll begin to see how you can finally break free from the unconscious patterns holding you back. Carl Jung described the mother complex as the deep unconscious patterns formed in childhood, often shaped by the figure of the mother. These patterns stick with us, affecting our behavior and emotional responses long after we've grown. The problem with the mother complex is that it's not about blaming our mother. It's about realizing how her image, how the emotional imprint she left on us, still runs our lives today. These imprints shape the way we react to criticism, why we struggle to accept love, or why we find ourselves chasing after approval, often to the point of exhaustion. And it's not just about flaws. These are the symptoms of a deeper, internalized script formed in the early years when your nervous system was learning what safety meant. Maybe your mother was physically present, but emotionally distant. Maybe she was conditional in her love, or perhaps, caught up in her own struggles, she couldn't make room for yours. Whatever the case, this imprint, the internalized voice of the mother, becomes a guiding force in your life, dictating your behavior in subtle but powerful ways. Take Sarah, for example. She grew up in a household where her mother's affection always seemed contingent on Sarah's achievements. She learned to be perfect, to perform, so that she could earn love. Now in her adult life, Sarah constantly struggles with feelings of unworthiness, always needing to prove herself to others, and yet never feeling truly loved. Her mother's voice still echoes in her head. You must be perfect to be worthy of love. It's not that Sarah's mother was overtly cruel. It's that Sarah internalized a message that her value depended on performance. As an adult, she's stuck in a loop, working hard, achieving, but never feeling truly enough. In Jungian psychology, archetypes are not just people. They are universal patterns of experience and emotion that exist across cultures and time. The mother archetype is one of the most powerful archetypes, representing safety, nurturing, and origin. When integrated, this archetype provides a healthy foundation of self-worth, love, and security. However, when the mother archetype is distorted or unintegrated, it can become a source of oppression. This is the version of the mother that is controlling, critical, or distant. She whispers that you must be perfect to be loved, that your needs are too much, and that your desires are dangerous. This internalized voice, though it may echo your mother's tone, lives inside you. It becomes the harshest critic, the voice that doubts your worth. When this inner voice drives your behavior, it doesn't just affect your relationship with yourself, it impacts your relationships with others. Partners may be held to impossible standards, expected to save or heal you, and when they inevitably fail, the cycle of abandonment repeats. To break this cycle, we need to name the archetype, disidentify from it, and consciously choose when we are letting this internalized voice guide us. Only by doing this can we rewrite our emotional narrative. Another force that keeps us stuck is the concept of invisible loyalty, a term coined by Bert Hellinger. This concept explains why we may feel unconsciously bound to the pain and struggles of our parents. Deep within, there might be an unspoken agreement, an unconscious vow to carry your mother's burdens, as though her pain is yours to bear. This loyalty can manifest in self-sabotage, underperforming when success is near, pulling away from love when it feels safe, or denying your desires because they feel too much. This loyalty is not intentional. It's a deep emotional bond that binds us to the past, often to the detriment of our own well-being. And much like a mirror, we may unconsciously mimic our mother's pain, thinking that by doing so, we are showing solidarity, when in fact, we are stunting our own growth. But the truth is, her suffering is not yours to replicate. You do not have to carry her emotional weight. Healing here is not about rebellion, but about realignment. It's the courage to say, I honor you, but I will not remain stuck. I love you, but I must rise and heal. The most powerful step in breaking free from these patterns is reparenting yourself. This process is about learning to give yourself the care, validation, and guidance you may have never received. It means becoming the mother you needed when you were younger, nurturing, compassionate, and protective. Start by listening to your emotions. When sadness arises, don't dismiss it. When fear comes up, don't override it. Ask yourself, what do I need right now? What would a loving mother say to me in this moment? This is not a passive process. It takes discipline and vigilance. You must notice when you're slipping into old patterns, when your inner critic is gaining strength, or when you're neglecting your own boundaries for the sake of others. Reparenting is not about excusing the past, but about creating a new, healthier relationship with yourself. It's about being both the nurturer and the protector. Validation without guilt, guidance with truth, and failure without shame. Breaking the pattern doesn't mean erasing your past. It means choosing not to let it define you any longer. You may never receive the apology you hope for, nor the maternal presence you long for, but the point is this: you are no longer a child. You can choose who you want to be now. Healing doesn't require someone else to change. It requires you to stop living under the rules that were written for a version of you that no longer exists. It means noticing the small moments when you shrink to avoid guilt or envy, when you apologize for existing, and when you let others define your worth. These are the echoes of the inner mother voice, but you can question them and choose again. True emotional adulthood is the ability to act from intention, not habit. When you catch yourself in a familiar pattern, pause, breathe, and choose differently. That's how you break the cycle, not through a single dramatic moment, but through thousands of small, conscious decisions. Thoughtful Lompestron. This isn't about denying pain, it's about choosing not to make pain your home. It's about reclaiming your power and choosing to live from a place of self-worth, free from the shackles of your past. When you stop being loyal to what broke you, you free yourself to live as your true self. You are not your wound. You are the one who is healing it. Now ask yourself, who do you want to be from here? Will you continue to live under the influence of a distorted mother image, or will you choose to rewrite your story, taking back the pen?